I've spent the last few months living out of a fully built-out camper van. So in theory, this should be easy and fun.
Oh, I can literally jump in the back of my car and spend all day outside, and I can rest in the back if I'm tired and I don't have to go back home, and I can just adventure all day.
But last time I tried, it didn't work out.
I don't know, I think the people on the internet made this look very easy, but it's actually very, very small.
So this week, I'm trying it again.
Tonight, I just want to see if I can sleep in the car with nothing in it.
And I'm really not sure how it's going to turn out this time.
Hi friends, we're just driving to my mom's house because that is where I left all the things I need to turn my Mazda CX-5 into a car camper. But before we are able to do that, we first have to figure out if I can even hack it, because if you watched my video where I turned my Mazda CX-5 into a low build camper, you'll know that the first night I spent in it was actually a complete failure.
I'm actually parked in front of my mom's house because I wanted to just try sleeping in the car where I feel safe. And that already fell down and everything on top of it collapsed, and the lid also came open, so that was fun. And Archie's like kind of freaking out. He doesn't know what's happening. Like, why are we in here? What is going on, Mom? Are we back in living in cars again? Yes, Archie. I feel like I've had doubts about car camping and worried if this was something feasible for me and Archie. And my doubts have never been higher than when my elderly mother was laughing her head off at the idea of her daughter sleeping in her car.
And I ended up sleeping in my mom's house, and then I ended up tent camping instead of sleeping in the car. So this is gonna be attempt number 2, and I'm really, really determined to see if I can do it, because everyone on the internet makes it look so easy and makes it look so fun, and I'm wondering if there's something wrong with me that I wasn't able to do it the first time. And Archie has no idea what we're doing. I grabbed a small backpack with just a change of clothes for the night and my toiletries and water, and that's it. So yeah, he is in for a surprise, because last time we tried car camping with him, he was so confused and he didn't know what was going on.
As I was driving to my mom's house, I felt the doubt starting to creep in again. Despite watching so many videos on YouTube of how to car camp, I still don't understand how people manage in such a small space. There are people out there living in their cars full time, and I couldn't even hack one night in mine. But I think it's worth giving it another go because I so desperately want to experience adventure on the road again.
All right, we're here. But before we can get started, there's 2 things I need to do. I need to wash the car and I need to empty the car. My mom insisted that she wash my car. I don't know why, but I guess today I'm getting a free car wash. Want to know what my mom drives? She's a 69-year-old woman and she has an Acura TLX. How badass is that? Okay, now we're gonna go get what we need for the car camping setup. And like any well-adjusted normal child, I use my parents' home as my storage unit. So that's all my stuff, and the car camping stuff is in this mess of a pile. So I'm gonna go through this and get out the stuff that we need. Now, the most important part of the setup is, of course, the bed. And I made my own bed by ordering a latex foam topper on Amazon, and it was relatively inexpensive and it's really comfortable. So we're gonna use this as our bed. And it's a little bit heavy because it is a pretty dense foam. The other thing we have in here is a mat that covers the wooden platforms. And of course, very, very important are the reflectix that I made to cover all the windows of the car. And I find that it's really helpful to have a source of light in the car. So I'm gonna bring this solar chargeable lantern. I don't know how much light it has enough light left, so I'm gonna bring this. We have a bit of a problem. I was able to locate the platform of the bed, which is in the garage, but the legs that allow the platform to be level in the car are nowhere to be found. Like every normal parent who allows their child to store things in their home, things will inevitably get thrown out or moved or misplaced. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if I can still make the bed work without the platform and see if I can make it level somehow. And if that doesn't work, we're gonna have to take a trip to Home Depot. The Mazda CX-5 has folding down seats, but because of the way the seats are, there's a big drop of about 5 inches 3/4 from the height of the platform here to where your feet go. And that's why I built the platform, to make it level. So we're gonna see if we can minimize that gap somehow and put the first layer down here. So I'm thinking what I could do is maybe use the second piece of foam and use that to even out the bottom. Together, this makes 4 inches of mattress. So this would mean I would only have a 2-inch pad, but I'm okay with that because I like sleeping on firm surfaces. So let's see if that would work. Okay, already I can tell that doubling it over makes the bottom half too tall, so that would be pretty uncomfortable to sleep on. Let me try something else. Okay, I'm gonna get in and see how bad it is and if I think it's doable, and then we'll decide from there where we go. It's not bad. Maybe a platform is not necessary. Yeah, this might actually work. So that blanket is the covering that I want to use to wrap the foam in. So I'm gonna actually replace that with some normal bath towels. The hilarious thing about all of this is, you know that story, The Princess and the Pea, where they figure out who the princess is by putting a tiny pea at the bottom of like 10,000 mattresses. And if you're a real princess, you would be able to feel that pea. I am a princess like that. I am a real princess where I don't sleep so well in tents, in cars. I don't even sleep well on new beds I'm not used to, or if I had to sleep next to someone, even if they're a friend of mine. Any new situation or new sleeping situation, it could be really, really hard for me to relax enough to fall asleep. I'm half expecting I will not be able to fall asleep tonight and I will be up all night. But you know, if I don't try it now, I'm always gonna wonder what if, you know? Okay, I just remembered that one of the things that was really difficult about sleeping in the back of the Mazda is I wasn't able to sit up at all. I could only kind of lean on my arm a little bit because there's absolutely no headroom. So I'm wondering if instead of using both of these foam pads, maybe I'll just use one and see if that would be comfortable enough. And that way I gain 2 inches of headroom, which could be a game changer and could help me actually sleep better tonight. So let's give that a try. Okay, I'm gonna try with just the one mat and see if that would be enough. Oh, it's so much better. It's so much more room. I can get up. Look, check this out. I can actually get up a lot more than before. So when I have to change into my pajamas later, I might actually be able to change out of them from back here and not have to go to the front. Someone had said to not put the second seat flat, to leave the back seat as is. And I'm kind of wondering if I should or should not. And I'm wondering what people think about that. Is there a particular reason why having the back seat up is good? Is it so that you can sit up and chill in the back without having to go to the front? Is it a storage thing so you can use that seat to put stuff under the seat and easily access it? I'm not really quite sure. She didn't mention the reasoning behind it. So let me know below in the comments if you would put the seats flat or not. I think for me, just to replicate sleeping in a normal bed as much as possible, tonight I'm gonna try it with the seat down, and then that way Archie will also have room to kind of walk a little bit around the back. Not much room, but at least better than nothing, right? All right, so what I did was I pushed the passenger seat as far forward as possible so that there's as much room back here as possible. And I also brought in the little rug that I'm gonna put next to the bed so that it feels less like a car back here and hopefully more like a little home on wheels. Now I have to figure out where to hang my little lantern, and unfortunately there's not too many options inside the CX-5, but I think I can use the handholds on the sides of the passenger doors, and I see a little hook there where I think it's meant to hang dry cleaning laundry. So I'm gonna use that little hook and put the lantern there. I brought a little bit of a creature comfort, which is my go-to pillow at home. So at least I have one element that is consistent when I sleep. Well, that and Archie. Archie also helps me sleep at night. And in terms of bedding, it has finally warmed up in Toronto. We have been having an Arctic cold spell, so it's been in the negatives at night, and now it's finally above freezing. So I don't think I'm gonna need my 0-degree sleeping bag. So I'm just gonna use a camping quilt that has down inside. So hopefully this should be warm enough to sleep with. And then for Archie's bed, I'm gonna put down a little soft fleece blanket that he uses when we go on car rides, and I'm gonna use this for him to sleep on next to me. When I cut the foam mattress for the sleeping platform, it was too long. So there's this extra long piece that I cut for Archie's bed. So Archie can sleep on the foam mattress instead of the back of the seat. But sometimes he prefers to sleep on the floor. He might get too hot, or he just prefers to be on the ground. So we'll see what he ends up doing tonight and see if he picks the foam mattress or if he just sleeps like, you know, on the seat, I guess. Go, baby. Let's see how this feels with both of us in here. What do you think? Okay. Whoa. Well, clearly we're not level because we're on my mom's driveway, which has a slope. So we should probably drive this to the side of the road and test if it is level enough. And look how much headroom I have. I can kind of almost, well, I can't sit up. I'm 5'4". I can't sit up, but I can kind of do this, which is really good. Archie, this is your bed. Archie, this is your bed. Lie here. Good boy. Very windy today, huh? So one thing that is different about the experiment tonight is when I did it the first time, I had all my camping gear in the back with me. I don't have a roof rack with a Thule storage box. So I had a big cooler in here. I had my stove, all my camping gear, including chairs and kitchenware and food, and all of that was back here with me. So it was feeling very, very, very tight. But without all that stuff in here, it's feeling really roomy. Like Archie can like actually walk around without all that stuff that was back there before. Right, buddy? Feels a lot more open. So before I got a van, my first van, Snowy, I actually chilled out in the back of my Honda HR-V back in San Francisco. It was a rental that I had when I was living there. And the Honda HR-V, the seats fold completely flat, and it actually has more headroom than the Mazda. It has more headroom than the Subaru. I remember doing that and feeling so cool, like, oh, I can literally jump in the back of my car and spend all day outside, and I can rest in the back if I'm tired and I don't have to go back home, and I can just adventure all day, and then I can eat in the back and I can read in the back. And it felt very freeing and very liberating to know that when push comes to shove, this is always an option for travel, and a much more affordable option than a van or an RV or something like that. What do you think, Archie? You're not even phased at all that we're back here. You were so weirded out last time we tried this. You were like pacing for an hour in the back, not knowing what the heck we were doing back here. But look at you, you're all cozy and you like it here. Yeah, you're not trying to leave or run away. You're not like, Mom, what are we doing here? What is this? Yeah, you're a good boy. Tonight, I just want to see if I can sleep in the car with nothing in it, and then we'll graduate from there and have the platform in. I'll get the 2x4s, and then we'll put all the camping stuff in and see if I would still be able to travel this way. And I'm really hoping that I can, because I think it would open up a lot of really cool road trips in the future, and the adventure doesn't have to stop just because I'm not living out of a luxury converted camper van. The adventure can happen no matter where I am, which I think would be really, really awesome. Oh, I just noticed this, but there's a cigarette port charger here in the back of the CX-5, which means theoretically I can have a battery back here, which is really cool. All right, I just had dinner with my mom and it's starting to get a little bit darker now. So I think I'm gonna put all the reflectix up but while they're still light out, because it's kind of hard to put them up when you're inside of the car. So I'm gonna do it while I'm able to. I don't know how nosy my neighbors are, but hopefully they don't think it's weird that I am putting the reflectix up in my car. I think this officially falls into the stealth camping category, even though I'm doing it in front of my mom's house. I still think it's stealth. If you disagree, let me know in the comments, but I think it's still considered stealth. But part of stealth is covering up all the windows, so let's do that.
I've always been someone who follows the rules, but the more time I've spent on the road, the more I've realized this kind of lifestyle doesn't really work unless you bend them a little. Even though sleeping in your car isn't technically illegal in Toronto, I still feel this underlying anxiety, like someone's going to notice, knock on the window, or call it in. And I know I'm not hurting anyone. I'm not doing anything wrong. But from my time in the van, I've learned that doesn't always matter. Rules are rules. I just wish it felt different, because something as simple as sleeping in your car ends up being way more complicated than it should be, especially when, for a lot of people, it's not even a choice.
All right, I just did the one in the front, and this is just a standard shield that you use just to keep the sun off your car. So that's what we have going on in the front. And then last but not least, we have the little triangles on the side here. All right, I'm just about to go into the car, but everyone is bringing their recycling bins out, and I just asked my mom, and apparently the recycling people are gonna come tomorrow morning pretty early, so that's pretty bad news for us. Because, we're on the street, and then the recycling truck is gonna come and it's gonna go beep, 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 pick up the recycling, beep, beep. All right, we're back in the car, and I opened the sunroof, the moonroof, whatever you call it, to just let some airflow in, because obviously I don't want to pull down the windows on the side because everyone's gonna see that. So I did that, and I guess the question I have is, when you're living in your car or when you're traveling in your car, what do you do when you have downtime and you don't want to be out and about? Because, are you sitting in the front and hanging out? Are you lying in the back? And because I can only really lie down comfortably in the back, so I'm thinking the only activities I can really do is reading or watching TV, on my phone. So I think maybe I will do some TV. And Archie's already on his little bed. Look at him. Hi, did you find your spot? It's a really good spot. All right, it's about 9 o'clock at night, and I have good news and I have bad news. What would you rather get first? Okay, lucky you. You're going to get the bad news first. So the bad news is, when I went into my mom's house to wash up to sleep on her street, she said that a few years ago she got a ticket for parking outside her house on the street. And I looked it up online, and apparently in Toronto,
you cannot park for more than 3 hours without a permit, even if there's no signs at all. So that includes, obviously, if you park more than 3 hours overnight, I would be at risk of getting a ticket. And the fact that my mom got a ticket in her neighborhood means that neighbors are reporting, because that's pretty much how they enforce it. And I don't want to get a ticket. So I'm actually parked here at the Go Transit station, which apparently has free 48-hour parking for Go customers. On their website, it does say that you are allowed to park here for 48 hours. But on the other hand, there are signs posted everywhere on the parking lot saying unauthorized vehicles will be towed or ticketed away. So it's a little bit confusing. That also means I won't have to deal with garbage trucks at 7 in the morning, but I might have to deal with people coming and going, because it is a train station here. So yeah, we're gonna head to the back seat and try to change into our PJs, and we'll see how that goes. All right, I changed. I'm wearing one of my favorite t-shirts, and it has 2 P's on it, and the writing on the bottom says, "I see you've noticed my big PP." Yeah, I really like it. I didn't buy it. It belongs to someone else, but it's mine now. I parked pretty far from the main street here, and so far so good. And we'll see when the Go train comes how loud it is. I don't know if this train blows its horn when it passes through. And then all that's left is just whether this princess can fall asleep in this car through the night and actually get a restful night's sleep. I opened the moonroof more to let more ventilation in, because cracking it wasn't enough to get the airflow in, and it's pretty stale in here. The air is not moving much. But the risky thing though is that rain is actually in the forecast for tomorrow. So if I leave the sunroof open, rain might get everything wet inside. So I'll have to keep an eye out on the weather and make a judgment call if it's worth taking the risk, versus maybe another option could be cracking a window and somehow seeing if that helps at all. But if I do that, the Reflectix won't work. All right, so I'm pretty sure I parked level, but I'm lying on the bed and it definitely feels very slanted. My head does keep kind of falling down and my feet kind of reach the trunk. So I've slept slanted before in Stardust. It's not ideal, but it's better to be slanted head to foot than it is side to side, if you know what I mean. So this is the better situation to be in. I'm gonna try to go to sleep, and hopefully I'll report in the morning with some good news. And if something bad doesn't happen tonight, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Night. Hi, baby. You're okay. Yeah, you're okay. You're a good boy. Yeah, you're a good boy, Archie. Right, it's 10:30 p.m. and I've been trying to sleep for the last while, but I think I'm really upset about the 3-hour parking limit on residential streets in Toronto, and I couldn't figure out why it was so upsetting. And then I realized that I think I'm angry because this bylaw makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. You're telling me that if I want to go visit my friend's house or my family member's house for more than 3 hours, that I have to pay the city of Toronto money for a permit? I don't know what this bylaw is, whose idea it was, what it's meant to do. I think I got so mad that I can't shake it. Anyway, I've been trying to sleep, but I think I'm
I'm not able to, I can't, I'm a princess. I'm a princess. I can't sleep on a slant. I tried. My body keeps sliding down and I keep having to like bunch my way back up, and it's not good. Archie has been doing much better. Archie passed out right away. As soon as I turned off, like, he was knocked out. He doesn't like his little bed that we made for him at the front. He was sleeping on my bed, but he passed out. And even now he's sleeping on the thing. But I think my lesson here is that I need to have the platform. I don't think this setup is gonna work without it. I'm gonna have to unfortunately call this a fail, and I'm not gonna be attempting the rest of the night sleeping here just because my ego won't allow me to quit. Like, I know my limit and I know what I can do, and this is my limit. And plus, that Toronto thing really set me off, and I kind of want to go home and just start furiously Googling why the heck this law exists. And I will be writing some letters because this is stupid. This is stupid. It's a stupid bylaw. It makes me so angry. Anyways, yeah.
Archie. Hi. Hi. You okay? Yeah.